Good evening, everybody. It's Carrie and Chantal, the glasses sister tonight. We both have our glasses on. How are you doing?
Doing really well, yeah.
Good.
Happy to be here. Always a good thing.
Yes, indeed. It is. And it's so exciting because we've been working closely together this week on lots of new ideas, bringing fresh life and fresh blood to the work that we have fallen so deeply in love with over the last several years. And it feels like just a new, fresh season, doesn't it?
It does. I love the fall.
Yes. And we came back from convention, as you all know. We dove in deep into the products, well, at least as deep as we can in 20 minutes. Gave you an overview of all those exciting new opportunities in the space of healthcare. And now we thought this evening we would dive a little bit more into new opportunities in your fiscal health.
Right.
Yeah. So, Carrie, you have been doing this business now for 5 or 6 years, 7 years, something like that. And you launched out of the gate, super successful right from the start. And you implemented a strategy that, to a certain extent, we've all been imitating. But there have been a couple components that we haven't quite been catching on to as quickly as we should to duplicate that. And so over the course of a lot of conversation and digging and diving together and collaboration with a lot of other leaders, we really feel like we've come up with a fresh take on it, right? A fresh recipe.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Partner 250 and what you're seeing and how you're helping to launch this, and a little bit about what it means and what it looks like.
Yeah, thank you. So what we realized was that we looked back at why our success was certainly quick, but most importantly strong and increasing. It all went back to the partnerships that we strategically sought after at the very, very beginning of our business. I think one of the things that was evident to us and critical in our planning was we were not going to jump into doTERRA until we really had a significant group of partners to work with, that we understood that we couldn't do this alone. And I think sometimes people are so eager to get out there and share their knowledge and share their experiences, and that sharing leads to a little bit of money, right? And then that little bit of money somehow gets morphed into, I think I'm in a business. But what they haven't done is strategically plan their business. And this was really the key element to our success. And so, although our frontline leaders did it, and even some of their frontline leaders did it, over time, it kind of dissolved into a very, very warm and beautiful sharing group and some very, very hardworking people. And they have all the tools, they have all of the technique, they have all of the knowledge. What they don't have is strategic partners. And so this year, we're really focused on teaching people about strategic partnership. We're calling it Partnership 250. The reason we call it Partnership 250 is that the climate has changed. And in the current climate, people are moving out of face-to-face meetings, online, Zooms like we're doing now, Instagram, Facebook. They have limited amounts of time. And so what exactly is the level at which you benefit the most? And what we've discovered is a magic number is really 250 PV. So it's been exciting to see when you give someone very specific guidelines and very specific outlines of what they need to do, and it's simple and easy to follow, and they love the product, they just kind of grab it and run with it.
That's really neat. And I think the other piece that we have really discussed is synchronizing this in a timely fashion.
Yeah. And you've done a lot to kind of perfect that timeline. I really love it.
Yeah, I think that the key is that we really want to make it so that 250 doesn't feel like it's another budget item, right? It's very quick, out of the gate. Let's get dialed quickly with our key partners. Just like in any other business venture, you wouldn't drag out finding your partners for a year. Right?
No.
You would never do that. You would never do that. You would sit down and you would get focused and you would get clear and you would have those business meetings, and the invitation would be clear and questions would be answered so that you could launch. If you delayed your launch and finding your business partners for a long time, you would end up eating through critical capital and you would end up sinking. And I think that's the case with this too, is understanding that doTERRA as a business initiative is incredibly generous. However, the timeline has never been handed to us. That's been something that has been like, well, you can. And the expectation on us as business owners to manage our time and to manage that appropriately. So now we're helping to give some guidelines. We're also giving some prompts and some guidance so that we can get through those conversations so it's less painful, right? And hopefully we can get to those committed partners. And I think the big thing that's shifted for me, Carrie, is that we are not interested in manipulating our customers, right?
No,
we're not. We're not about that. We want our customers to feel free. And I think that takes away the sting and the fear that, oh, this is just another MLM, right? In fact, I was doing some research recently at the statistics surrounding MLMs. And if you do anything online, you'll find it's not very high. It's not very good.
Right.
But the reason those numbers are what they are is because every person who comes in for a wholesale discount gets lumped into this idea that they're a business builder. And that's not at all the case, right?
No.
We want our customers to have the benefits of loyalty orders and the benefits of buying when they want and how they want and being supported with all of the beautiful protocols. But when we really narrow the scope and you say, who wants to do this as a career or as an investment or with a serious strategic emphasis, the numbers narrow naturally. And that's okay. That's okay.
Absolutely.
You know, we recognize this isn't for everybody. So we can be a little bit more free to extend the invitation and to go through that process and that conversation knowing that not everybody's the right fit, and that's okay.
Right. It's really, really important that people understand that doTERRA has made the framework of this opportunity very, very doable. You know, their outline is 3 business partners. And, you know, I was thinking the other day, like, we were doing research on MLMs, I was kind of thinking about your traditional business, right? Like, who are we up against in terms of drawing people's hearts and minds into different things, right? Where's the pool? And I thought, where can you actually start a business with 3 business partners and no one else? I mean, really, that's all you need to get this going. And as you said, we've created a timeline that's very doable. We're looking at what I consider to be, I've seen people do it in as little as 3 weeks. And, you know, we're kind of saying the long range would be 8 weeks, right? Because we're hoping people already have people in mind, or people in mind that could give them the right referrals.
Right. Yeah. And I think that really just helps us to realize as we go through this process that there's only a few criteria that we are looking for. We're looking for people that understand the value of investment, an investment mindset, right? Yeah. And I love that. I've been talking about that with my kids throughout the week. Is that a fixed mindset concept? You know, are you thinking as a fixed mind individual or an investment minded individual?
I love it.
And honestly, it's gospel truth. Today's gospel was so clear, right?
Yeah, well, that's true.
So
right.
clear. The priest stood up in our homily and said, you have an obligation as laity to pursue wealth so you can give back.
Right.
You can invest. Be wise, right? Obviously, there was a little bit about, you know, the dishonest the dishonest steward, but what it kind of came to light was that the dishonest steward wised up, and he realized that in the end, by doing right by his master praised him in the end, right. Not because he was being deceitful, but because he was being wise, and he was actually making a strategic investment. What did he do? He held back on his own commissions, right? So he could make an advancement forward. It was really fascinating to me, and I just felt so convicted in light of the scriptures that, you know, let's think about this more. How many times does Christ refer to the 10-fold, the 50-fold, the 100-fold, right? If you give, if you invest. I mean, can you imagine if we went around telling people that with doTERRA you're going to have 100-fold? Right?
It's absolutely possible.
And it's possible.
You know, talking about Christ and God and what all he says is just give me a little bit, just give me a little bit, and I'll multiply it, right? He never says, oh, well, you give me everything you've got, and then I'll multiply it. He just says, give me a little bit, right? In a way, let's say, a little bit, 3 people, right? We're kind of following the order. We're not trying to be bigger than God, right? We're not trying to create a grand opportunity on our own. What we're saying is, if we can reach out just to the smallest number, can you multiply that? And I know, like, in my own experience, Chantal, and I believe that this could have been, now looking back, if I had been a better teacher and really kept the partnership thread strong. I was so strong on the oils and teaching the oils. And I kind of pulled back on, oh yeah, this partnership's important, right? But if I kept strong with the 3, everybody get their 3 and have those partners, instead of having like 22,000 people on our team, we would probably have 100,000 people. And those are great. I mean, when I say 22,000 people to people in 6 years, they say, oh my gosh, that's like, where are those people? Like, how does that even happen? But I think when we look at the people we've actually enrolled and talked to, it's a very, very small number, less than 100 in 6 years. Less than 100 people that we've contacted have led to contacting so many other people. But the people who have done that were the ones that understood the partnership of 3. And there's nothing that says you can't pray for the right people. And there's nothing that says you can't ask for it to multiply.
Well,
go ahead.
No, that's so true. We need to be prayerfully discerning and prudent. Prudence is not only asking rightly and managing rightly, but it's also investing rightly. And I think this is an opportunity to do that. And I know some people get hung up on, there's somebody at the top and 3 at the bottom. Oh, that's a pyramid, right? My favorite pyramid is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Right? Mother, father, child. Like, there's a pyramid in almost
Keep going,
everything, right? Like, if you're hung up on that, we'll talk about something else. But no, the truth is that when we are doing this with integrity, and we're helping people to see the value of growing their health, growing their wealth, and expanding and buying back their freedom, then we have a recipe that says, this is good. This is right. This is something that we can be proud of, and we can definitely extend the invitation to more families and more professionals and more individuals. The sky's the limit. It's really beautiful.
So what would you do to get that person to try that first phone call? Like, what did you have to do to get to that first phone call that said, yeah, I'm ready to do this?
Sure. First of all, I think the most important thing for me has just been simply saying, are you available for a phone call? And I send that over a text message, right?
A text message. Okay, great idea.
They can't get their phone anymore, right? So you send out a text message and you say, are you free to talk? I wanted to run something past you. That's okay. Right? And then on that phone call, it's really a heartfelt reality of saying, you know what? Let's look at the situations. We've got the state of our homes, the state of our country, the state of politics, the state of healthcare, the state of addiction, the state of debt. All of these things are pointing us down in this negative direction. And yet, don't you feel that rising tide of freedom pulsing through you that says, resist the darkness, heal the broken, change what's not working? Like, let's press on. And in light of that, this opportunity resonates with me, and I'd love to share it with you. If you want to take a look at this, I'd love for you to just listen. Open your ears. For those that have ears to hear, let them hear. And if not, that's okay, because I'm going to love you still. It doesn't have anything to do with, somehow some sort of manipulation or twisting of arms. It's like, no, if this is for you, great.
And there's always a place in doTERRA for everybody.
Yeah,
whether it's want to be a partner or not, right? Yeah. And I think that's key. We just have to always remember when we're having these conversations with people, there's a place for everyone. So if partnership is not where your place is, then please come and be part of our team and use the products and enjoy them. And know that if that's your choice, you have the freedom to buy and choose and share at your own pace, and no one's going to try to manipulate you into doing anything other than that.
And to be honest, in integrity, I'm also telling people that if you don't and you can't build this in a short period of time, then, pare down. Like, don't just keep investing aimlessly. That's
right. Oh, I agree. It doesn't really work that way. Without partners, you'll exhaust yourself.
Right. And so, 250 PV is meant for the invested-minded individual.
Right.
Most of us probably spend that much anyway on our health. Realistically, if you love doTERRA, it's hard to not spend that much.
Right.
But that being said, not everybody is needing $250 worth of product if they're just using it for their personal consumption. Instead, we're saying, let's use it, let's leverage that. Let's care for ourselves, let's care for our families, let's give back. I have sisters in religious convents asking for support.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to be free to give to them. So I'm going to use part of my investment to give back as well. And that's so cool.
And in another call, we would go through the timeline a little more specifically, but I like the fact that within the first 2 months, you're at a break-even point, and by the month 3, when you're putting in that $250, you're getting a nice return on your investment. And so when people hear that number, $250, the return is coming in very quickly. I know for us, it was important that we get the return back in the first month, and there are ways to do that too for someone who wants to be very, very proactive. We can definitely walk you through that. I think I've shared that with you, Chantal, that our first check was $9,000.
Yeah.
And so, that was a very, very strategic partnership plan that had multiple layers to it out of the blocks.
Right.
But anyone can do that. And if that is too overwhelming for you, just know that the just very basic one of getting 3 partners has a turnaround time of less than 3 months. And most investments do not have a return that come in that quickly. Even if you bought a building and you're waiting for the rent to come in, you're looking to pay off the mortgage first before you're really making a profit. Stocks don't grow that fast. And they're certainly not guaranteed. This is also a guarantee. doTERRA hasn't changed their compensation plan since the beginning of the company. They have no intention of doing so. So there's a lot of things here that make this investment much more desirable than anything I've seen lately.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the beautiful part, right? We always look at something and we say, well, what's solid? doTERRA is a debt-free company. They are moving in one of the most aggressive and growing spaces in commerce and in business, period.
And in healthcare, too. Yeah.
Healthcare, exactly. They are run by a group of individuals that have integrity-based evidenced, right? They've proven themselves. They've been here long enough. The direction and trajectory of essential oils is moving forward. This isn't something that's fading. It's something that's advancing. We have so many positives. I always like to make sure people realize that I don't think doTERRA is the be-all, end-all of everything, right? They're not, they're not perfect, right? We want to make sure we have...
It's also why we fall into the word complementary healthcare, right? We're complementing other things, your sleep, your diet, your relationships, your other modalities. We're just a part of something really good that we want you to pursue. Your prayer life, right? All of that.
Yeah. So this is a good opportunity. And I think that we can all come away from the end of a conversation with a friend saying, I feel confident that I'm where I am and I'm doing what I'm doing. This is a noble work. And with the opportunities that we have beyond just the scope of our own personal investment by tying and linking arms with doTERRA's Healing Hands Network and so forth, there really is it's a very beautiful opportunity. So again, for those that have that forward-thinking mindset and they're looking to either grow wealth or gain wealth, I think this is a valid and very worthy opportunity. You should take a look. So
so check it out. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you. We're obviously passionate about it. I think we're just about as passionate about this as we are our oils.
Yeah. I'm excited to see, because the next wave is going to be people reaching goals and starting to give back. So we're going to come back in a few months and we're going to be talking about that, which is exciting.
That's right. Yeah. The risk is minimal. So dive in. We've got some great calls on it in more depth this week. Monday night and Wednesday night. So for those that are watching this live, you might still catch one of those. And if you are watching it as a recording, just feel free to reach out on the Facebook community and ask for a personal presentation or when the next one is that we're doing as a group.
Yeah, we're happy to meet with you, in person. That's fun, too.
Very good. Thanks, Carrie.
All right. Awesome.
Well, we will be in touch next week, everybody. Join us live here on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. Be sure to tie into our newsletters and other activities just so that we can stay connected and help fortify your family in holiness and health and in freedom. It's good things. All right.
Bye.
Good night. God bless.
God bless.